Hello, in this video we're going to be taking a look at two add-ons that will help improve your immersion in World of Warcraft, help you get more into the game and kind of lose yourself in what you're playing. Now, the two add-ons we're looking at are called Immersion and Immersive. So I'm probably going to get those mixed up. We're probably going to confuse Immerse, Immersion, Immersive several times in this video. I'll try to make it very clear when I start talking about the add-on what the exact name is, and then if I mess it up, it'll be that first name that I mentioned. So the first thing we're going to take a look at is we're going to take a look at an add-on that is called Immersion. Okay? Immersion is a add-on that seeks to improve your questing experience by basically updating the standard Blizzard Quest UI and making it a little bit more modern and a little more interesting. So we're gonna fly out here. We're just out in Goldshire. There's a couple of low-level quests we can accept here that we'll use as an example of what the immersion what the Immersion add-on does. So if we go up here to Marshall Dugan, he's got a couple of low-level quests for us, and if we right-click on him, we're going to get our standard quest interface. This has not evolved very much over the course of WoW's history, but it serves its purpose. So we get our little, kind of pop up. This is what this guy says whenever we talk to him. And then we've got a couple of quest options here. So if we click on the Fargo Deep Mine, you're going to see we got two paragraphs of text, our quest objectives, and our rewards. And we can accept that quest there. And there it goes. It pops up over in our objectives list. And then if we go to Heroes Call Westfall, we'll see we've got some larger paragraphs here, quest objectives, rewards, and we could accept that quest. And that's pretty much it. At this point, we're good to go on our quest. We can open up our map, see where they're at, take off, and go do them. So let's take a look at that same process, but this time we're going to enable the Immersion add-on and see how it makes this whole experience vastly different. Alright, so we're going to go into our add-ons, we're going to turn on Immersion, reload our UI. Alright, so same thing, I went ahead and abandoned those quests, so we're going to pick up the exact same quest. So this time, when we right-click on Marshall Dugan to start talking to him, we're going to get a nice little pop-up down here instead of that window. And this has got his introductory text. It also shows the model of his character instead of just a picture. And then over here in these nice pop-ups, we have the quests that we can accept. So if we do the Fargo Deep Mine, you'll see we get a couple of things here. First, it breaks down all the flavor text of the quest into little paragraphs so you can kind of read through these like you would in many other video games. By default, Immersion is set up so that it will scroll through this content on a timer. So, maybe after 10 seconds, it goes to the next paragraph. Then you have 10 seconds to read that one, and it goes to the next one. There's some ways you can tweak that, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Down below, while you're reading the quest text, you get to see the quest objectives and the rewards that you would get. To accept the quest, all you have to do is click on the dialog box here. When it's highlighted blue, you left click and that will accept the quest for you. If you right click, that will scroll through the text so that you can reread something that you may have missed. And if you don't want to accept the quest, you can left click on this red X here and that'll just cancel it out. So let's go ahead and go in and we're going to accept the Fargo Deep Mine. Now my hands are off. We're going to see this is going to automatically scroll through to the next paragraph. You see it shows there's 1 of 2 there. And it automatically went to 2 of 2. So we'll go ahead and accept this quest. And before we look at Heroes Call, we're going to go into the options for the add-on. So we can go in here to Interface, Add-ons, click on Immersion. This is where we have a couple of different options here. For the most part, you can ignore a lot of this stuff. Mainly what you want to pay attention to is the behavior box. So this sets the text speed, and this determines how quickly it changes from one section of the dialogue text to the next. So this is your timer for that. You can increase the speed so that it'll go through the text faster, or you could slow it down so you have more time to read. What I recommend that you do, and what I personally do, is I disable the automatic text progress, and you just check that box there. And that will allow you to, instead of the text automatically advancing, it lets you manually push a button, and then that will go through the text at whatever your pace is. So if you read a box, really quickly, you can hit space and go to the next one, or, let's say your kid's crying in the background, or you got to get up or something, you can just leave it, and when you come back, it'll be on that same dialogue option that you need, or that you were on, and then you can just manually advance through the content of that particular quest this way. If you do that, then if we go into key bindings, you're going to use your accept key to scroll through that content, and you can see if you hover over where you set the keybind, it tells you what this button does. So by default it's set as space, and I just leave it as that. And then underneath display, you can change some of the different display options. I think the defaults work perfectly fine, so I don't mess with these. You could go into the model text and disable some of the animations if you feel like maybe it's a little bit too hard on your computer. That gives you some options to do those kinds of things there. So let's take a look at the next quest, but this time we're going to have the automatic text progress disabled. All right. So we click on Dugan. We can see we've already accepted the Fargo Deep Mine. And now we're going to check out Hero's Call. So we got our quest objectives and rewards like usual, and the content of the quest has started. We can see there are 7 pages, and now if I hit the space bar, it will advance. So I can rapidly advance if I want. Or I could take my time, read through everything, and just hit the spacebar when I'm ready to read the next line of text. If I need to go back, I can still right-click. That will also advance through, and you can cycle through that stuff as well with your right-click. So what I have found is that through using this add-on, a lot of times the quest text that pops up in that default Blizzard window, you just see it. It's over there off to the side. It's all one big paragraph. It doesn't really look that pretty. It makes you kind of just want to hit the accept button and go about what you were doing. Doing things with this immersive add-on, or immersion add-on, to me is a lot more visually appealing, and it makes me want to read through the quest text. Because I'm reading it in smaller chunks, and it feels more like a dialogue in a traditional RPG where, you don't just get the entire wall of what the NPC is going to say. You get it in pieces as if they're telling you a story. So that is the Immersion add-on. That basically just kind of improves the quality of your questing experience, and many people recommend this add-on for that purpose. Now if you're wanting to power level or just level really quickly, obviously you don't need something like this, because you just want to run up and right click accept and just go. But I think with Battle for Azeroth and the quality of the story and everything that's going on, it's really going to be worth taking the time to read that quest text and figure out what's going on. So that's Immersion. The next add-on we're taking a look at is called Immersive. All right. So Immersive, we're just going to show what it does here. So we go into our add-ons, and we're going to enable Immersive. Reload our UI. And now what you're going to see is my entire interface is just going to fade off the screen. Alright, so now when I'm out and about, I have this nice, wonderful, beautiful, clean picture with no UI blocking my view. I can see everything. This is really, really great for immersing you in the game and letting you see the environments and the details. And I'm out here in essentially like Cataclysm content. You know, that's when these zones were updated. But in Battle for Azeroth, I mean, they've done such a great job with the graphics that being able to go into this sort of mode is really, really nice. Now, you may be saying, okay, well, now what do? My interface is hidden. I can't click any of my spells. I can't do any of that stuff. Well, Immersive has a couple of things. First, you can go into each of the different elements on your screen, and you can set whether or not you want Immersive to hide them at all, if you want there to be a delay. There's a lot of different options. So if we go in here, we go to Immersive, we open up our little plus sign here. It's got options for some of the more popular UI add-ons, but we're just using the default UI right now. So for example, this enables this add-on for the default UI, which we want. And then you're going to see on the left-hand side, there's going to be one of your screen elements. So for here, it's buffs. This is showing your raid members, showing your main hotbar, showing your micro and your bags bar that has like your system menu and stuff on it. So each one of these has its own little section. And for each one of those, if you uncheck the box, then this add-on will not mess with it at all. So if you always want your minimap to show all the time and you never want it to hide, you can go down, find the minimap in this menu and just uncheck the box and it'll always be there. You can also set the delay and the fade time for the elements. So let's say that when you first log in, you want to be able to see everything for about 30 seconds and then you want it to fade away. You can go in and change everything so that it has a 30-second delay. And then the fade time is how long it takes to fade out once that delay is up. So after 30 seconds, it'll take 1 second to fade off the screen. Now, something I found when using this add-on is that if you set these values to 0, then the element will bug out and it won't work. So you want to make sure that you always have 1 second or so. 1 second is almost nothing to get that to fade away. Now, we also have a checkbox here that says Enable Hotspot. Hotspot means that when you hover over this element, it will show it. Now, what I was doing is I was just keeping my cursor kind of in the center of my screen where there's no elements at, but if I wanted to see, you know, like my character health and stuff, Hotspot is enabled for that, so if I move my mouse over here, I can see it. If I want to look at my mini-map, I can move my mouse over here. My hotbars, all I have to do is move my mouse to them. You know, all this stuff, by moving my mouse, I can see these different elements. You can turn that off. So, for example, if you never want to see your mini-map, you can disable the hotspot thing. And then if you mouse over that area, it won't show up. So that's what hotspot does. Now you also can set a mode for each of your elements, and there are 3 different options. The first is always hidden. So this is another way to make it so that your element is always hidden, like you'll just never see it at all. And that can come in handy. For example, if you're using, you know, a different add-on, like I use the CirclePy or OPI add-on for all my abilities, and because I have them all key bound to that kind of stuff, I don't need to see these bars ever, so I actually go in and just turn them off, turn them to always hidden, so I don't see them. They take up less space on my screen. You can set it to conditional any. If it's on conditional any, then all these checkboxes over here, if you check a box and any of the things that you've checked is true, then it will show that element of the interface. The easiest way to show this is we have our main hotbar set to show if we're in an arena, in a battleground, in combat, or in a pet battle. So if any of those conditions is true, then it will show our main hotbar. So if we fly over here, and we just find a random enemy, here we go, and we get into combat with this enemy, you could see I didn't move my mouse to hover over anything, but because I'm in combat, it will show all my elements. There we go. It's showing all my elements again. And this will just stay up as long as I'm in combat. And then when I'm out of combat, it will disappear based on the delay and the fade that I have set. So if I have this set to a 30-second delay, then after combat ends, it will continue to show my interface for 30 seconds. Then it will fade out. I have it set to a 1 second delay, 1 second fade. So once I'm out of combat, it fades away very quickly. So you can use that conditional any as one of your options. The other option you have is conditional all. So what that means is that in order for this element to show, everything you have checked has to be true. So for example, you could set this to only show your buffs when you're in arena and in combat. And that means that if you're just in combat but you're not in an arena, then it won't show your buffs. Or if you're in an arena but you're not in combat, it won't show your buffs. You have to be in an arena and in combat, then it will show your buffs. So you have a lot of options, a lot of control. You don't have to hide your whole interface. You can set the delay and fade to change however you like there. You can use the hotspot if you want. And this, I think, just provides a really immersive experience, because if you're just, running around from place to place, or you're not in a fight, or you're not really doing anything special, you can get this nice, beautiful view of just the game without all the UI elements. And I think that is very, very beautiful. And the last thing I wanted to show off here is what this looks like when you have Immersive turned on and you're using the Immersion quest application. So if we go up to Remy 2 times here, he's got a couple quests for us. We can click on him, and now without all the other UI elements, we have this nice quest box. We can go ahead and select our quest here. We can read through that with the space bar, accept it, and we're good to go. So that's it. Those are the two add-ons I really recommend to help increase your immersion in the game, allow you to really appreciate the beautiful vistas that are going to be available in Battle for Azeroth, to improve the quality of your questing experience, make that more engaging, maybe do that little bit more to cause you to want to read the quest and follow what's going on. So I hope that you've enjoyed this video. I know there are going to be some of you out there who are going to want to have all your different UI elements and all that kind of stuff, but this is for those of you who really want to get in and just really immerse yourself in the game and have a really good time. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.